and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. If you are new and you do not follow me on Instagram, then you might not know, but my family recently took a trip to Hershey Park. Where we live in Pennsylvania, Hershey Park is only about an hour and a half drive for us, and we have never taken the girls. Alani is 5 and Emmy is 2.5, so we thought this would be a really great time to go. We did not stay on a Hershey property. We ended up staying at a nearby Marriott property. We are in the process of figuring out the whole points thing. Let me know if that is something that you're figuring out or that you are knowledgeable about, because that is something that is new to us. But we're excited to start figuring that out and really being able to use points to travel more. You'll also have to let me know in the comments if your kids fight over the elevator buttons. That is a constant battle with our family. Who's going to push the one on the outside? Who's going to push the one on the inside? But once we got that all figured out, we were able to get inside our hotel room and get settled. I packed a tumbler with ice and put popsicles in it, so when we got to the hotel, we were able to fill up the tub with some water, and the girls sat and enjoyed a popsicle bath. After that, we got them into their swimsuits, and they were able to hang out by the pool. And once we were done with the pool, we headed over to the local brewery and had just a really nice time there as well. I had shared on Instagram that I switched our activities folders to bags, but one of the nice things they had at the brewery were these wiki sticks. The girls really enjoyed those. Well, Alani enjoyed them. Emmy preferred to just color, which was fine. But if you haven't seen my video on these activity packs or bags now, I will make sure to link that in the description. The next day was the 4th of July, and I had the girls dressed for the holiday. They were very excited, as you can see. We did breakfast first. There was a restaurant right down the road, and so we ate there ahead of going to the parks. But after breakfast, we headed right to Hershey Park. We do not pull out the Mockingbird stroller as much as we used to now that the girls are older, but for Hershey Park, it was absolutely perfect. The riding board is such a great feature. We get questions every time we use it, and I just absolutely love it. I highly recommend it to everyone. And this area over here was for measurements. Emmy was in the kisses category, which is 36 to 42 inches. She just made 36 inches, so she was able to go on so many rides. Alani is a Reese's, which is 42 to 48 inches. She is 43.5 inches and was able to get on a few of the roller coasters, including a looping one. But of course, the first ride that our girls convinced us to let them do was the carousel. It's the first one they see, and honestly, if your kids have been on a carousel before and you can avoid it, it's not worth the line. It ended up being a much longer line than we anticipated, longer than rides that were way more fun than this. And the girls have been on carousels a million times. There's a carousel at the mall near us. There's a carousel at the zoo near us. So for me personally, this was something we could have skipped. I was not expecting it, but Emmy got to ride her first roller coasters during this trip. She was tall enough for two of the roller coasters and she absolutely loved them. The lines were pretty short on most of the rides, especially this one. This one we were able to just go on back to back when the girls wanted to. And you'll see when the girls were playing in the water here, you can see the line behind on like their log flume type ride. That was kind of one of the longest lines we actually dealt with. The lines were so small that most of them didn't really use the cues that normally you're like winding around. So the crowds were really good while we were here. And this ride was really fun. We enjoyed it. I would say if you sit toward the front, you might end up with wet shoes. And if you sit toward the back, you're going to get fairly wet, but not too bad. They also have a show with seals and sea lions that we stopped to enjoy. And I appreciate that they talked about how they acquire the animals and how they care for the animals. This was one that did not keep Emmy's attention. I was surprised, but she did not want to sit through the show. So if you have a little one that has difficulty sitting through things, this might be a no-go for you. I thought Emmy would be fine, but this turned out to be a tough one. I was really surprised, but we didn't end up leaving the park until around 6 o'clock. At that point, everyone was fairly exhausted, so we hopped the tram. We were able to put the stroller on it as well, and we rode to the parking lot from there. Once we got back to the hotel, we got the girls showered and into PJs because the goal was to head back to the park for the fireworks, which we were able to do. And it was just so nice to see them experience the fireworks. Alani has seen them in Disney, but outside of that, they really haven't seen fireworks. And the next day, we headed right back to the park. We did some of the same rides, but we did try to do a different area of the park and try some new things. One of those things was going to the zoo. Both the zoo and the water park were included in the price of our ticket, but we didn't end up going to the water park. We hadn't planned on going, maybe when the girls are a little bit older, but we wanted to still check out the zoo. And I will say it was pretty similar in size to what we have near our home. We have a fairly small zoo that's only about 10 minutes away from us. And we love going there. We are members there. And I felt like this kind of reminded me of that. It's very easy to go through and not really spend a ton of time there, but it's just a nice change of scenery. And the nice thing was the zoo did have a lot of different animals that we don't have at our zoo. I did not record as much on our second day, but I promise you the girls went on a ton of rides. They loved the independence they had to go on rides all by themselves, and we loved that as well. There were 2 indoor rides, a roller coaster and I guess like moving car type ride that we didn't go on. It was very hot. As you can see from here, people were doing anything they could to cool off, and this was a lot of fun for the girls. But it was super hot, so the lines were pretty long for any of the indoor rides. We were going to make the Ferris wheel our last ride, but Emmy made it a slightly terrifying experience, to be completely honest. This was another time that she decided she was not going to sit down, and the Ferris wheel is not enclosed. It's very important that your child is sitting and behaving because it can become really scary up there. So We didn't want to end on a bad note. We ended up letting them go on additional rides after this just so that we could end all in good spirits. But yeah, if you have a little one that does not sit very well, I definitely don't recommend the Ferris wheel. We ended up having another day where we did not leave the park until close to 6, but this was our last day. So we wanted to end with getting the girls something special. There really wasn't anything souvenir wise that we thought was worth taking home, but the area where they had all of their treats and desserts looked phenomenal and smelled so good. I don't even love sweets, and I was tempted to get something. So we let the girls each pick something that they were very excited to enjoy. This was such a great trip, and we're so glad we did this. We'll definitely be doing it again, and if you are thinking of visiting Hershey Park, I highly recommend it. As always, thank you so much for watching my video and supporting my channel. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.